Good morning, everybody. My name is Kaylee Hashaw with TJK Consulting Engineers, and I'm the current Allied Director with AIA. Obviously, love to thank everybody for joining Coffee with an Architect this morning. Couple housekeeping items. Just make sure you're muted while we talk to Ben, just so there's no background noise. And obviously, we love to do Q&A, so please feel free to ask questions in the chat box. You can throw those in at your leisure throughout the conversation, or you can unmute at the end and ask Ben a question yourself. So Ben Girardin is our guest architect this morning as principal. Ben is involved in every project from start to finish. Over the past 20 years, he has led teams of architects and engineers designing a wide range of projects from gaming tenant improvements to complicated medical facilities. In 2008, he founded 109 Design Group, a full-service architectural firm, completing over 500 commercial projects, including public works, medical, hospitality, office, and industrial projects. Ben's firm merged with PGAL in 2018, continuing to service Nevada and the Western US with high-end design and technically solid architecture with resources of a national firm. Ben is a graduate of Lawrence Technical University and a member of AIA, USGBC, NAOP, AGC, and a founding member of the Young Professional Society of Las Vegas. So help me welcome Ben. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you, everyone.
How are you?
Good.
Good. Happy Wednesday.
Yeah, great.
Very cool. So I love to always start out, obviously we're part of the AIA community, and so I always love to ask what architecture means to you and why you love being an architect.
Oh, geez. Well, what architecture means to me, I just think it's a combination of creativity and technical skills, ability to create something that's useful and meaningful to our clients. And what I love about it, I love the fact that we do a wide range of different types of projects, and I love learning what other people need to do their profession efficiently. I know more about healthcare than I ever thought I would know. Not a doctor, not a nurse, but I know a lot about what they do and what goes into those facilities. I know more about jets than I ever wished to know. We're doing a chemical processing plant right now. I know more about chemical processes than I ever cared to know, but it's very interesting to me to always learn what other people do and what they need to operate. So I think that's the most interesting part of it to me, and always willing to take on new types of projects just because of that. It's very rewarding, I guess.
Yeah, fun little extra ad service you get to do, right? Get to learn, and maybe you could fly a plane or something one day.
No, I don't operate on people, and I don't fly planes, so
just create the facilities that they need, which is great.
I'll stick to sitting behind my desk here.
Yeah. So your firm, 109 Design Group, merged with PGAL in 2018, and we're seeing more and more of those types of things, those mergers, the buyouts happening locally in our valleys. So what would you say are the biggest changes that come with that, and how can consultants support architects through that type of transition?
Okay, so that's a good question. Something I need to talk about later this month with my partners, actually. So mergers, first of all, are very stressful. Anybody that's been through them, stressful on both parties. It just interrupts what you're doing on a daily basis. So the whole initiation of that, and the accounting resources and the HR resources and all that's involved on both sides is very time consuming, and just something that both parties wouldn't normally be doing. I mean, I bet some firms are set up with acquisition teams. PGL was not. I think in their 76-year history, there's been 3 firms acquired, us being one of them. So, and 2 of them were in the same time period. So the feedback I got on their side was stressful. The experience on our side was, if I had to do it again, there's certain things I'd do differently. For example, it was kind of a last minute announcement to our staff, meaning they found out the morning that PGL came into our office basically and introduced themselves. So with that, it was a shock value and probably unfair to a lot of our staff. Some of the staff I had at the time, we had 23 people at the time, and I think we brought over 17. So there's a handful of people, including blood relative. My father worked for me, who did not get to merge over just because the redundancy. Our accounting, HR, office manager type stuff, PGL already had in place, so that those positions were no longer needed. One of the stresses I think on our staff was it was a little bit like the Brady Bunch. PGL had an existing office here. They had 7 or 8 people, and we had 17, I guess. So just putting all those people in the same room and expecting to operate like normal was pretty naive on both of our parts. And there was some, it wasn't all bad, but there was some bad things that came out of that. Just some people didn't want to work for a big company, and I never thought about that. Some people liked working for the small company. Some people are very thankful. It's a lot more secure, and 76-year history, not going anywhere. So I mean, there's some pros and cons to it. It's just it's stressful, and I think more time and thought could have been put in to the way we did it. So I very beneficial to both firms here in the long run, but just the shotgun approach isn't something I do again. Give people the opportunity to kind of make their own decisions, and if it ever happened again.
Yeah. I'll just go to that Jim's question because we're on the topic. What prompted the merger for 10-9?
It really wasn't prompted. We were very successful independently of each other, different markets. And 2 years before it happened, we a lot of you probably remember Chris Larson. He reached out to me. There was a project coming up in town, the Las Vegas Municipal Courthouse. He knew I knew Mulaski really well, and did a lot of Mulaski's work, and PGL had the courthouse experience. So we teamed together on that, won it, or got shortlisted the first time, and then the project went on hold for 2 years. And there was just some good synergy there. And then somewhere in between that going on hold and the project coming back, PGL approached us for an acquisition, basically. It just made sense to them. They were looking for another principal. Everybody knows how hard that can be to hire. And then our work, our clientele was different. They're more focused on the public works side, and we were more private development, that type of stuff. So it was a good mix. We weren't playing in the same circles, and it just it worked for both of us. I was at a point where I realized that we either needed to get smaller and back down to, under 10 or larger. And anybody that's sitting in my seat knows how stressful that is. We were just at we had the right projects, wrong size firm. So it worked out well, and it just made sense. So.
Yeah. And it sounds like during that stressful transition, for those of us on our call that sit in that consultant, we could not stress you out on projects and do everything correctly to help you out to not add any more stress to your life.
No, I mean, for the consultants, it was confusing because it was October 1st, 2018. So 4 years and a couple weeks. We drew a line in the sand, and some consultants had to get paid by 10-9 up to that point based on percent. And who knows, it was just a guess where actually those projects were. So getting through that string of projects was the hardest part. Who's paying who on what, so, and then calling the consultant and saying, oh, I know we paid you 60% PGL is going to pay the other 40%. So thankfully that's in our trust.
Yeah.
But yeah, just be patient, I guess, would be the best answer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
No, there's yeah, PGL is always going to pay. We're pay when paid, but it's more solid than 10-9 was.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing that. And obviously you assembled a team, starting up 10-9, and now you're leading PGAL locally. What have you discovered in your career that has worked when building a successful team or company, and advice you can give to those that are in that seat or want to be?
something that's always worked for me, and I say it on a lot of interviews. My wife deemed me the blue collar architect maybe 20 years ago. Just very humble and no ego. We partner well with a lot of people. We work well with a lot of clients because we really don't bring that ego. I've experienced that, and I don't want to work with that either. It's appropriate for some projects. It's just we get along well with contractors, consultants, because we're all in the same team, and I feel like that's probably the single most beneficial thing to building a team is there's no I, it's all of us. So it's always been part of who I am. I think part of what made me who I am here. So just that no ego would be one way to sum it up.
Yeah. And I'm sure you look for that in consultants. Obviously, everyone here is typically an allied member, they're a consultant to you. And what do you look for specifically in the partnerships?
Kind of the same thing with the project in mind or the relationship in mind from the consultant side as well. I have a very little patience for if it's all about the bottom line, about the fee. I think that's secondary and it always comes, but it's the relationships. It's our consultants realizing that we need to maintain that relationship sometimes can be hard. And I get it sometimes that, there's always somebody saying, hey, we got to get paid on this before we move to the next step. And sometimes the client hasn't paid for whatever reason, whether that be a bank loan or just slow funding, whatever the case may be. It's my goal is always to put forward, the relationship, the project is the most important thing, and we will get paid. So I think it's just that. I mean, just relationships more than anything.
Yeah.
Maintaining those relationships.
Yeah, no, definitely. Switching gears a little bit, what makes you get up every day and excited to go to work? What motivates you in the architectural world?
It's just something that I think is just in me from birth. I'm always doing something. I may say I hate it sometimes, but I love work. I don't ever sit around. And in the last 15 years, a lot of people have count on me to do what I have to do. So just not letting people down and keeping things moving and keeping the work coming and keep producing the work. And just it's more about everybody else now. To me, is just my motivator. Really, just I have a young family. That's motivator. Yeah. So just others more than personal gratification. I'd wake up and do something every day, regardless. I'd have the cleanest garage in town if I didn't have to come here. So,
wouldn't we all?
Yeah.
So you have a career that spans over 20 years. Do you have a project that stands out above the rest to you that you love?
That's a tough one. I mean, I love every project. I say a lot the next one, but I guess there's probably two projects that are milestones, I guess. I did a project in Michigan prior to moving out here in 2005, Monroe Bank and Trust. It was an old downtown infill site. So making a new building not blend in, but be harmonious with the existing downtown. and it was the biggest project our firm had ever done. So I started that as a pretty young person, and it kind of gave me the confidence to pick up and move out here and get going out here. And I actually finished that project from here, and it was a very smooth transition. I flew back a few times, so that one sticks in my brain just as kind of a milestone, end of one chapter, beginning of another. It's a neat project. And then probably here, I mean, we've done a lot of projects. I'm probably embarrassed to say, but the city courthouse is what kind of married 10-9 PGL together, and it's a neat project, and it's a municipal project, and it's going to be there for a really long time, longer than me. So I would say those two, but I mean, there's all the projects are interesting, and I like them all. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like saying who's your favorite kid, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of, yeah, it's difficult, but there is one. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Well, John likes to know what interesting or exciting project is your office currently working on, if you can share.
Oh boy, I got to be careful with this. We got a few NDAs. We're working on the Fine Arts School at UNLV. That's a interesting project. I believe TJK is our partner on that. So eventually I'll get to you guys.
Yes.
The engineering school is under construction. That's a nice project. We're doing a project over at McCarran for Harry Reid International now. The airport bought the land on the west side of the airport, and they're infilling all that. So we're part of that. Working on a ski resort in Utah, 2,000-acre ski resort. Pretty neat project. Started with just 2,000 acres of raw land, and it's become pretty interesting. Do a lot of hospitality stuff. We got a big interiors department here, so doing a lot of work with MGM. Everybody wants to build a pool bar right now because of what Circa did about the Circa effect. So we got some pool bars going on. We got some tower remodels. We got a lot of stuff going on. My crystal ball says it'll stay strong until Super Bowl and Formula One. That's driving a lot of the work right now. All the way around, even the airport project. No place to park private jets right now. So I mean, there is, but not as many as the demand is. So, yeah, always interesting. New stuff falls out of the sky every day, it feels like.
Yeah. And what do you, just personally, when you're not doing architecture, what do you enjoy doing?
Well,
do you have free time?
Yeah, well, not really. So most of my time, my wife and I we're high school sweethearts. So on October 9th, if anybody's wondering what 10-9 stood for, 1990, we started dating. So it's 32 years coming up here in 3 or 4 weeks. And we have a young family. My oldest daughter's 9, and I got a 5-year-old boy and a 6-year-old boy. So kind of a late start, one career and then family. So most of the time we just spend together. We have a home in Michigan that we like to spend a lot of time with and expose the kids to, the lakes and fishing and bugs and, all the stuff they don't necessarily experience here. So we get away there anytime we can. I love old German cars. I have some. I don't spend any time with them, but at some point I'd like to. But mostly family stuff.
Yeah, that's great. Thanks for sharing. You're from Michigan, I'm gathering?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, very cool. So with AIA, what do you think, in your opinion, the AIA community could be doing more of?
That's a tough one for me, and I apologize to everybody on this call. I mean, I was on the board of the AIA, had to be 2008-9, so quite a few years ago, and my schedule just got the better of me. So I haven't been as active at all as as I should have been. So I apologize for that. But I think, based on me not looking for it. I mean, I think AI now is doing, and I'm not saying they didn't do a good job before. I just think with all the media and social media, and I mean, I see a lot of the messaging. I see the newsletters now. I see there's events. If you look on those calendars, I mean, you guys are busy. There's a lot of events, and I think, I can't be critical of it, but I think, the current regime's doing a great job, from what I see, and I'm not active. Just, I don't, I can't find time yet.
No, you're good. Gotta prioritize, and you gave your time before, right? So
Yeah.
it makes sense. So are you seeing, obviously you said there's a lot of trigger points, the stadium, the Formula One, all these things that are keeping everyone busy. Are you feeling comfortable about the economy here in Las Vegas? Obviously there's always, that little like recession person that's hanging out on our shoulder, but are you seeing any slowdown, or you think we're
I have
gonna tick along?
I have 24 partners in 13 offices across the United States. So I get the luxury of kind of seeing what's going on nationwide. And Las Vegas is always an anomaly, good or bad. So nationwide, I feel like, there's more of a focus on business development and finding those projects versus just sitting back and, trying to find people to produce the work. I think Las Vegas, and my crystal ball's very foggy a lot of the time. So this is just simple Ben Girardin's opinion, is I think it's going to be very strong to the Super Bowl, maybe right before. There's so much work in town right now that, people are saying no, which, I mean, contractors that never say no are saying no, to work right now. I've never seen that in the 18 years I've been here. So I think it's a dangerous thing right now. I think everybody's super, super busy, and a push to get the work done, regardless of the cost. It's a terrible time to build, as everybody knows. Costs are high, materials are hard to get, everything involved with it is bad. But people are still doing it, and a lot of it's being driven by these major events and the influx of people we're going to have. I just feel it's going to drop off after that, but I hope I'm wrong, and I hope there's big enough, good enough projects to carry all of us through, whatever dip that is. It could dip a little bit, not probably affect most of us, probably make us better, but we'll see what happens. But Las Vegas has always been its own deal.
Yep. Yep. Oh, yeah. No, thank you for that insight. A lot of us, yeah, we don't have those resources nationwide to see how other markets are doing, and yeah, Vegas seems to skate through sometimes a little bit better than other cities. So,
like, meeting at the end of this month, I'll have a better idea what's happening nationwide.
Great. Well, I'd like to open up. We have 5 minutes left. You're more than welcome, all the attendees, to put your question in the chat. Thanks for those that have already done so, or feel free to raise your hand or unmute and just ask away. I'd like to open up for Q&A now.
Hey, Ben, this is Marco Baika.
Hey, Mark.
Hey, we obviously enjoy work with you guys, and partnering with you on the UNLV engineering building. Really having a good experience with your firm and with Anna on that. We do a lot of education projects. Is there a market for you guys in the K through 12? CCSD sure has a lot of projects and needs good firms like you.
Yeah, we're getting our feet wet there. We got I think 4 or 5 upgrade projects up, no new schools or anything like that, but HVAC upgrades, lab upgrades, facility upgrades in general, I guess, roof replacements, exciting stuff like that. But yeah, we're getting into it, and we're just kind of paying our dues, and hopefully one day we're working on a newer school or junior high school, whatever, so yeah, no, nationwide we have those resources. I wouldn't claim to have that experience, but we do have that experience within the firm.
Cool.
Thanks, Mark. Let's see, Michael, what types of things are you doing to retain good team members?
That's a tough one right now. Coming from a 76-year-old firm that, is run in different ways. I mean, everybody, it's a sore subject and a hot topic at the same time. Once, COVID changed the entire work pool ethic, or, what people want, it's, they want the work-life balance, work from home, work remotely, and we're slow to kind of, embrace that. We're pretty flexible here. People come and go, but our corporate expectations are that people show up to an office if there's an office in their hometown. We have a handful of anomalies throughout the country, but that's a tough. Everybody's looking for they want to work from home entirely, and it's just not going to happen here. So it's tough for us to get people right now. I think if the economy cools down a little bit and the work slows down a little bit, I think we'll have a better shot of getting great people. I don't know what everybody else is offering. I'm not in the job market, but that's kind of what I'm hearing. And we're retaining people, but my fear is, an offer, hey, you can work from home 3 days a week, regardless of the salary, regardless of the benefits, regardless of the security. That's what people are looking for right now. It just seems you can't get away from it. So,
yeah, no, I definitely agree. No, it's good. No, we've TJK, we've experienced the same thing, not as much as being fully remote, but so we did at the beginning of the summer implemented like core hours, and then Fridays are remote optional. So there's some work around there. Yeah.
And we all know, I mean, this isn't a 40-hour-a-week job. So, I mean, being flexible, if your water heater breaks, you got to pick kids up from school, you got to go to a doctor's appointment. Absolutely. That's what, we support all of that. But there's a lot of people in the job market right now that they don't want to come to an office. They don't want to drive their car. So, I mean, it prevents us from hiring them.
Right. Does anyone have, we got about 60 seconds left. Are there any other questions? Feel free to unmute or type in the chat. We'll see.
Hey, Ben, it's Stefan Kort. Hey, you mentioned German cars. What cars do you have?
Oh, I got a bunch of old Porsches, mid-60s Mercedes Roadster. I got too many to. But I enjoy the old Porsches. We can go to lunch. I can go to lunch and give you the look.
That sounds good.
All the details.
I'm in the market to sell a bunch. So anybody on the call that wants to buy one, let me know.
Oh, really? Okay. I should take a look.
We should have put that in the chat notes, all the pricings for the cars, if anyone wants it. Does anyone have any other questions? We're good. Okay. Well, thank you so much, Ben. I really appreciate you giving us your time and sharing with us personally and professionally. It allows all of us to get to know you better. So thank you so much. And thank you to all the members that attended today. On behalf of AIA, we appreciate all of you. You're what makes this AIA community in Las Vegas. So thank you so much. If you have any questions regarding your Allied membership, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. And with that, I will wish everyone a great week. So thank you.
Bye. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Ben.
Okay.
Bye.